Hi everybody, hope you're all well. I get a lot of this in comments saying things like, why did you use the air fryer setting? Why didn't you use bake? Or what, you know, what's the difference, etc, etc. And it actually, and even someone said, well, it would be great if you could explain the differences. And I'm no expert, but I thought, you know what, that's actually a really interesting question. What is the difference between air fry, bake, roast, dehydrate, etc.? I mean, the obvious thing that comes to my mind is fan speed. That's definitely a difference, but it did get me thinking as to when were air fryers invented. So I think it's as early as 2006 in France was the very first one that was produced. In the UK it was 2010. So they have been around for quite a long time, but I mean, becoming increasingly popular for very good, obvious reasons. The first was the health factors. People like the fact that they cooked much more faster, using less fat, etc. I kind of got into the air fryer thing when the cost of living crisis really started to hit, and my oven was awful. It was on its way out. The seal wasn't working. It used to just take hours to cook anything. So that was my reason for getting an air fryer, and this channel kind of grew from that. They're both combined. I kind of got the air fryer and started the channel at exactly the same time, and I haven't looked back. I mean, it's been absolutely amazing. In fact, it was October, a year ago October, so it's been a year and a bit. Amazing. Love air fryers 100%. But we're going to go and have a look at these air fryers. It doesn't matter really the brand, it's just the settings that show that are on these air fryers. And so you'll have an air fryer that's very similar, has the air fryer, air fry, bake, roast, etc. They are essentially presets, so just for our convenience. It's a setting just so that we can go, oh, air fry, and it's at 200 degrees or 390 Fahrenheit, I think that is. Yeah, so, you know, let's go and have a look at these air fryers closely. As I was saying just now, it really comes down to fan speed. So if I obviously you have your 1 and 2, if you've got 2 drawers, that's not really the issue here. It's say like for instance, we've got max crisp. So if I press max crisp, the setting is automatically given for me at 240 for 10 minutes. And obviously, once I've chosen max crisp, I can adjust that. But that will be the highest fan speed. So obviously, if you're baking a cake, this isn't the setting for you. That would obviously be bake. And so there you have bake set at 160. But this isn't the temperature that you would, you know, ideally need or would want to use. It's whatever your recipe that you're following would say, because you can obviously adjust the temperature, and it's obviously set at a preset time of 15 minutes. But again, with a cake, you'd probably have it at 30 to 40 minutes, depending on the cake recipe. Roast, perfect for, I always use roast for roast potatoes or roasting meat. So again, so you've got highest fan speed, highest there, then that's the next highest. Then it starts to lower as you get to roast. Still pretty high though, because it wants to, you know, caramelize that meat, etc. Bake, obviously the fan speed becomes much more gentle, so that because it's obviously dealing with batter, wet ingredients. Reheat, I rarely use reheat, but it's obviously you can see the fan speed from top to bottom basically gets lower and lower. So bake, obviously set at 160, whatever that is in Fahrenheit, and the same with reheat. But I always tend to go to air fry for reheat, especially if I'm reheating things like pizzas. It's just quick, it's just very quick, and I might adjust the temperature. That's just down to each, you know, sort of your own personal preference. With regards to just this one, because it's got slightly different settings, like broil on a Cosori simply means grill, and I think they have even changed that to grill for the UK market. when they were producing newer models like the TurboBlaze, etc. I think that might have a grill, can't 100% remember. But some air fryers do offer slightly more, you know, like for instance, a chicken. Now, that says 200 degrees centigrade or Celsius, depending on how old you are, and 20 minutes. But again, you can just adjust. And obviously 20 minutes is way too small a time for a chicken, but it's just saying 200. I normally do mine on 180. So it's just convenient settings for cooking, but that you can adjust. So there's nothing really in it other than the fan speed, depending on what you're cooking. And exactly the same here, roast, air fry, reheat. See, they don't have max crisp here, but air fry set at 180, whereas it's set on a Ninja at 200. So it's just a convenient factor, but there is a fan speed issue. And with the dual blaze, in fact, it has a heating element at the bottom. Yeah, I mean, that's really it. I mean, they're great machines, absolutely fantastic. And even though I've moved into a new place with an oven that looks pretty good, I still use my air fryers. They are so good for roasting, reheating, baking. Baking is a real sort of, I think, something that's really emerged out of these. They bake so well. What was I going to say? Oh, crisper plate. I often take the crisper plate out. A lot of companies, etc., sometimes say don't do that, but why not? So if I'm roasting a chicken, I always put it in upside down first for the first half of the cooking cycle, however long that might be, because it depends on the size. Obviously, I would do it on roast, but you know, if you did it on air fry, I don't think it really would make a huge difference. If you did it on bake, it would just take longer because it's just going to be too gentle, the fan. And then you just turn it the right way up so it crisps. And that's another thing about crispiness. So the higher the fan speed, the more crispy the meat will be. So roast, air fry, and max crisp, if you have an air fry that has that option, they would really crisp up your meat really well. Yeah, I hope that explains a little bit on the settings. Dehydrate is not is one I've used occasionally, and obviously, like let's have a quick look at that. Actually, it's 60 Celsius for 6 hours. Obviously, again, you can adjust that. I don't know how low you can go on this. I sometimes use dehydrate to keep food warm. Like it's the highest temperature is 90. So if I've got something cooking somewhere else and I've got some, you know, I would use dehydrate just to keep something warm at 90 degrees or 80. You know, like a keep warm function, because I don't think Ninja actually has that on this one. Yeah. Crisper plates, you can take them, leave them in or take them out. Depending on what you're cooking, you just have to turn things. So I hope that explains the settings and that it's not absolutely crucial if you accidentally forget that to press the correct setting. It's just the fan speed. That's the ultimate difference. I'll just go over my notes to double check if I've missed anything before I sign off. Hold on. There was one slight thing I wanted to mention, was that in the direction of where the heat's coming from. Most air fryers, the heat element is at the top with the fan speed pushing it down, and obviously the airflow is circulated, especially when you have the crisper plate in, and that's what cooks your meat. So I often, if I cook sausages, I always cook them on air fry. It's very quick with the crisper plate in, and away it goes. It cooks really quick. I do turn them, I still need to turn them, but they're still crisping a little bit underneath, even in the Ninja, which doesn't have an under element. I less so in an air fry that has a bottom element, because it kind of acts like a frying pan, but it doesn't matter. Crisper plate in or out, it really depends on what you're cooking. But with most air fryers, the heating elements from the very top, and obviously the fan helps circulate that air. Even if you have the crisper plate out, the same thing occurs. You just have to move your food a bit out, stir it or whatever it is you're doing a little bit more. If you've got the crisper plate out, it doesn't stop that air circulation because you turn your food. What was it? There was something else. Hold up, notes. Oh yes, where does the heat come from in ovens? Oh my God. So ovens, the heat, they do have a baking element at the bottom. They have a little, I will have a little diagram that I found, which I thought was quite useful for both the air fryer and air fryers, whatever the brand, and also the oven here. Yeah, the oven circulates differently. There may be a fan, if it's a fan assisted oven, on the side, so the heat's very different. And also ovens are really large, and which is great for when you're doing a massive dinner, and it will be more economical to cook in the oven if you're cooking loads of food on each level. So like roast, Christmas roast, I would absolutely use my oven for Christmas roast. These are just too small, but they become very good accessories to smaller, like doing your stuffing balls or whatever it is. Yeah, so that's really it. I mean, I hope that helps. It's helped me. I know that much, so hey, that's good. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you on the next one. I've harvested some rhubarb from my allotment, so the next one will be definitely rhubarb related. Take care and see you on the next one. Bye.